Hey guys, welcome to another episode video for Survivor Winners at War. This one will be covering episodes 5 and 6. Because for the most part, I forgot to do one in episode 5, so we'll just combine that with episode 6, and, it'll be all good. So, episode 5, let's start there. The tribe swap with Parv, Michelle, Wendell, Nick, and that's it. Yeah, Parv, Michelle, Wendell, Nick, and I can't forget. I don't remember who the other one is, but I'll go. But as soon as I go through the others, I'll find out who that was. Rob, Adam, Ben, Sophie, and Sarah on one side, and then Kim, Yule, Tony, Sandra, Denise, and Tony on the other side. Now, this tribe swap is, number one of two things. Number one, it's to mix up the game, which always needs to happen. Number two, it's to kind of break up the alliances that were there. Now, as you see in episode 5, this tribe swap kind of messes some people up. In fact, it's why what happens in the episode happens, mostly. Because Rob gets switched with Adam and Ben, which are two people that absolutely hate him. They don't like him at all. So it's very interesting to see how that affected things. Now, at the immunity challenge, they end up losing because Sophie doesn't know how to do a puzzle. Because they were ahead a whole time, and some people are saying that she actually threw the challenge. I don't think she did, because it'd be dumb to throw a challenge and and all that. And they go hunting for an idol. The boys go hunting, and Sophie ends up finding it. Well, and sharing it with Sarah, because it's a half idol, so you have to share a piece of it. So the boys don't even know that they found it, which if you know you don't have it, you probably should assume that they do have the idol. That's just the way it should go. And Rob, because he's Rob and wants to be in control all the time, and honestly, he's the number one player in the country, so he kind of has to really think out of the box to survive. Wants to use his buddy system that he used way, a long time ago, in order to control a tribe of winners. Now, there's two main points to this, right? One is that he actually does accomplish it till they actually go to tribal. And the fact for that is he got them to sit there, and twiddle his thumbs all day. But the other part is that created irritation between Adam and Ben, and instead of doing what they should have done, which is stick with the numbers and get one of the girls out. In fact, they could have got rid of Sarah and got rid of her advantage, and everything. But they didn't, so they tossed away a number in Rob because they ended up voting Rob out, and now they're on the bottom, and they'll regret that as soon as they go to tribal council, because they saw an opportunity to take out the number one player in the country, and they took it, which is all good, but if you don't, if you do that at the expense of, you're on the bottom now with two advantages in play, it's really bad. That's horrible, and they should have thought about that before they made that move. And now you gave Rob a way to get further in the game without even having to try with the edge, possibly. Which is also bad. I would have kept I would have kept him on my side and kept an eye on him until at least the merge, because, you need that. You can't throw that away. Moving on to the episode 6. This is interesting because 2 tribes are going to tribal, and it's, very, and very evident that switched up the game. It changed things. It also makes the tribe fight harder in the challenges, which is good because it was a rice bag thing, and they ended up doing that. So they not that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So they ended up doing a rice bag thing, which requires a lot of strength, and my first reaction to this is the green tribe's going to lose because they don't have nearly as much strength as they used to when they had to toss those bags over. But the point is, it always comes down to the maze or the puzzle or whatever, and they're staying calm and collected, and the blue tribe and the red tribe are panicking in certain points, and the key to this is just to stay calm and collected. And this brings me back to Edge of Extinction in this episode, because I forgot to mention at the beginning. Tyson ends up finding the advantage at tribal, right? Or at not tribal, at the edge, because he's patient and thinks the clue through instead of having everyone else flip over rocks. Now, Rob was, had a very good point in going to the far end of the island, so at least he was trying to figure that out. But it's interesting because he chose to buy a peanut butter, and it's like, okay, so if you did, then what are you going to do with the advantages? That might give him energy in the challenge. We'll just have to see if that decision pans out. So anyway, both red and blue go to tribal, and it's kind of obvious on the blue tribe, because we're going to do them first. Who's on the bottom? Parv's on the bottom. She's trying to get momentum, so she talks to Wendell and says, can I like buy your vote, or can we have a discussion here? Because because I want your good graces, and I'll give you two fire tokens if you vote the way I want you to vote. And that was the discussion at the beginning of the beach, and then Wendell and her get into like a argument, and she ends up telling Nick about it, and Nick's very disgruntled about it because he's seen Wendell as a swindler, which I would too if I knew somebody was willing to sell their vote for 2 fire tokens. So, and she has 4, so she's not even using all of hers. So, she has 2 at this point because she bought the idle nullifier from Tyson. So she's offering her other 2. But the nullifier does her no good if she didn't reach further into the game. And the matter of the fact is that you have Michelle and Parv together because they need to stick together because they're at the bottom. And you have Wendell, Nick, and Yule on one side, right? So you have that, and then that's how the tribe's divided at the moment. So they get the tribal, and then it becomes this discussion of, should I trust Wendell, should I not? Because Parv ends up pointing out the whole thing with the fire tokens, and he says it's a live offer to buy her vote. Why not give him 2 fire tokens to make sure that even if he's lying, that you did everything you could to stay, and everything you could to stick around, but she didn't. She kind of mellowed out of that, and that's why, she was gone that episode and got her torch enough and head to the edge of extinction, which leads us into our other one. Now this one's a little more stupid because here's the thing. Rob and Parv were pretty much stuck because they're part of they're two of the big three, and there's no way people are gonna let them get any further because they're ranked number 1 and number 2, right? So it's very interesting how they were stuck, so they really didn't have any room to maneuver. Now, Sandra on the red tribe did have room to maneuver in the fact that she just wasn't in danger at all. She had an idol. She could have been safe to merge, because I assume the merge is either next episode or the episode after. So either episode 7 or episode 8. But instead, since she wants fire tokens, she gets Denise to buy her idol, right? Because she thinks so confidently that she is, safe and good because Denise is going home. Because they're all thinking that. Even though Jeremy doesn't want Denise to go home because he's at the bottom of that tribe with with Tony, Sandra, Kim, and Jeremy and Denise. So she ends up selling her idol because she's so confident, and then they get to tribal where they discuss the confidence and everything, and she's looking all nice, and comfortable, and Jeremy is not so comfortable, so he might have played his advantage if he thought it was going a different way, because he said that before. But it's very interesting how this went down, because Denise plays her personal idol that she had before to save Jeremy, and then she uses the other one from Sandra to save herself. So literally she cancels everyone's vote out, right? So that she's the only one that can vote. So she literally pins Sandra down and says, I'm the personal one who voted you out, and you better know it. So the fact that she was able to vote out one of the big three without even, by herself, without even needing help, that was impressive. And Sandra, unlike the other two, she caused her own demise, because I would have kept that idol, because it would have guaranteed me at least one more day, and I know somebody else wasn't going to use it. Now, I get the whole fire tokens thing, but come on, you got to know that you're ranking as like the third, and that's questionable because those rankings are in flux constantly. But we can all agree that they're the top 3 players that have ever played this game. So the fact that regardless of whether she's 3, 2, 1, or whatever, she knows her ranking, so she knows if they have a shot, they're gonna take it. But for some reason, she's not thinking that, and she ends up going to the edge anyway because of her own idol and her own over self-confidence. I mean, you got a statue on an island, for goodness sakes. She and Rob have statues on that island. You don't think that they know your legacy and they know how dangerous you are, regardless of whether you can't win challenges or whatever? And she ends up getting her torch stuff because of overconfidence. And I can guarantee you Sandra will not be back in this game because she doesn't do well on challenges at all. So it's not like, she even has a shot with that, unlike Rob and Parv that may have a shot. Although Parv not so much. The 3 contenders to come back from Edge of Extinction are either Tyson, Rob, or Natalie. No one else really has a chance at that. So basically what I'm saying is, in those challenges, you're going to have one of them come back at merge, and probably one of the other ones coming back at final 6, because I assume that's where the other returning point is placed. But anyway, that's my review for episode 5 and 6. Leave your questions down in the comments. I'm sorry that this is extremely late, but I hope that you guys have a great day and have an awesome quarantine week. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.